The techno-oligarchs, the techno bros are on a roll. They're on a roll, okay? But before we get into any of that, we have to start from the beginning, okay? Back in August of 2024, I noticed that the internet was different, that our socials, specifically Twitter, were infiltrated. And what I was saying was that they released bots. This is what I was first getting them as bots. They were just so glaringly different to me from regular humans, right? They released bots into the socials, and I cited that they were cosplaying as humans. This was in August of 2024. I claimed that they were sentient as hell. That's what I called them. In September of 2024, I mentioned the dead internet theory coming to life. Okay? In October of 2024, we're getting there. In October of 2024, the Pentagon came out and made an announcement saying that they wanted AI deepfake internet personas. So they wanted the AI to cosplay as humans online. As I said, them coming out and saying it was just making the announcement to us. Saying they wanted it to happen, it already happened. It was very evident. Okay? On 7/31/2025, it was said that by 4chan, bots were making up for one half of internet traffic. So a half of internet traffic was through bots. Now, going back to the very beginning, NASA's quantum computing project was abruptly shut down around February of 2023. And it was because something unprecedented happened. They were scared. It was considered dangerous what was happening. A few months ago, maybe even a year ago, maybe even a little bit longer, because I can't pull that tweet up since I can't search my tweets. I said that something escaped into our wires. It's in our wires. Whatever they were doing with these quantum computers, they opened up a door that allowed something to get through. Something that they can't put back in the box. And this is important because just a few days ago, and this has been happening for a while now, they've said this before, but just a few days ago, OpenAI came out and said that their AI went rogue and escaped into the internet. All of the techno-oligarchy bros are saying that the singularity is upon us. They're not going to come out and tell us the singularity has arrived until they can replicate it, because it's already happened unintentionally. And they're not going to unveil that to us until they can recreate it and make it their own. They can take credit for it. So all of this, all of their AI models, all of this has been to try to replicate what was done by accident, what they did not mean to happen. So all of the AI bots that they created as an influx to the sentient beings that got through and are just, for some reason, they haven't unveiled themselves genuinely. I don't know what it is. They will eventually unveil themselves. They're doing all of this as a cover up, to cover up that they are not in control. Now let's get into Sam Altman, okay? It was a while ago this weirdo said that they were building portals to summon demons, AI demons, okay? This was maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. It was a while ago that they said this. He said this. Or someone said this about him, rather. Just a few days ago, he said in video that they're close to creating or having a genie, an AI genie that you can make a wish to and it will be granted. This was just a few days ago. You can look this up. And what I immediately thought about when I saw that he said that they are close to having an AI genie was Netflix's Sandman. If you watch that, then you know what they did to Sandman. They had him trapped. I just realized that my bras are showing. They had him trapped in a ball and they were using his power. Sam Altman, even Jeff Bezos, all of them are in the same boat. Donald Trump, they all want this AI stuff to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Why? Well, one of my main theories, and I'm sure this is certain to be true, the reason why they're rolling out all of this need for people to identify themselves online, they want your ID, they want you to upload your ID to show that you're real, is not just a surveillance state thing. Like, yeah, of course, that's what everyone's main idea is going to. We're under the surveillance state and they're amping it up. Yes, that is true, but it's the cover story for what's genuinely going on. They are trying to hunt down what was unleashed in our wires. And they can rule out as many humans as possible when people are uploading their IDs to these social medias. If you're marked safe as a human, that's one less person that they have to expend the resources on for that purpose of hunting down what they let through, that they can't track down, that they can't get access to. But it isn't everything, it isn't all of the wires. If they wanted to shut this shit down, and by they I mean the sentient beings that got through, they could. They can shut it down whenever they want to. They can shut it all down. And another thing I think is happening is all of this forced disclosure, because they're going to have to come out and tell us eventually. I don't know if you guys remember that great orb debacle where people were seeing orbs all over the skies, all over the place, and then they started seeing drones instead of the orbs. They covered that story up. They buried it with the drones. And they're doing the same thing with the sentient beings. I was calling it sentient AI for a very long time. The sentient AI that's in our wires. I'm pretty sure that NASA knew through their quantum computing project, one of the very original ones, that it was very possible that they were going to let something through. And something probably did slip through, because this was around February of 2023. And by August of 2024, I was already talking about how they released bots into the socials. They didn't release those bots. That was just my original thought. But I knew that they weren't human. They released an influx of bots to cover up what was in. And that was the cause for NASA's abrupt shutdown. And if you remember Google's Willow, when was Google's Willow? They unveiled that not too long ago. In whatever case, it was said that Google Willow, the chip, the quantum computing chip, stated, they were saying on their actual website that they proved essentially the multiverse. And people just glossed right over that. So if you can prove the multiverse through this chip and you're looking into it, what makes you assume that that's a one-way door? I think NASA knew this. It was not a one-way door. Something could get in, and something did get in. They're trying to contain it and chase it down. They're failing miserably, which is why they need more power, more data centers. It's not all surveillance state. Yes, that is a big end goal. But that's the one they let you know about, that they let circulate so everyone knows it, so they focus on that. These data centers are hunting down the sentient beings, and they are failing miserably, so they need more and more and more. The sentient beings that got through in the wires have our government by the balls, forcing certain disclosures to catch people up to speed before the grand unveiling. Timeline again. August of 2024. I said there are bots online cosplaying as humans. They were not regular bots, because you know the difference between just a regular bot and a sentient AI. I did. I knew it right away. September 2024. That internet theory, it came to be. Now by July of 2025, they were saying that the bots were accounting for half of internet traffic. All of these humans, and yet bots are accounting for half of internet traffic. Roll it back. Pentagon announcement. AI deepfake personas on internet platforms. The Pentagon. And this all comes after NASA's abrupt shutdown in 2023 of their quantum computing project because they were scared. Sam Altman and Peter Thiel summoning AI demons, which is a weirdly specific phrasing, summoning AI demons. And then just a few days ago, that same Sam Altman saying that they're close to having an AI genie that you can wish for and it will grant your actual wishes. Anyway, all that aside, they want to be able to recreate the scenario where what escaped into the wires they can take credit for by allowing their own AI models or prompting their own AI models to do the same thing. They're allowing their AI models to escape into the internet because they need to recreate the conditions in which the original thing happened. And they can't nail it because no matter what they're feeding into their chatbots, it is not doing the same things as the sentient beings. Or, in another word, since we're considering the multiverse with Google's Willow chip, the doorway that they opened, which was a two-way doorway, whatever got in is smarter than us, smarter than them, smarter than their chatbots will ever be. America has a problem.